It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. On this, the 5th day of March, 2025, brought to you by Will US, the owner of Scoot Around, and by chilliescruises. We got several stories this morning and a couple little things to go over. First of all, let me make one announcement. There will be a no-show tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, is a scheduled off day. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow afternoon. So if something major happens, I have time to do a show. But I haven't taken a day off now for about 10. So it would be a good day to take it off. It has nothing to do with the way I feel. This is probably going to be just the doctor saying, okay, it looks like you're pretty much over it now. But anyway, he wants to go over, all the stuff, which is fine. He's aware of the fact that I'm leaving on the 28th and sailing on the 31st, and I'm going to be gone for, the best part of a month. So he's fully aware of that. So we'll see if he says anything else about how we've recovered back. All right, so the lead story today is a ban on wildlife interactions. This one really kind of bothered me a little bit. Also today we have a 9-year-old airlifted, a new chief dog, ships rerouted from tropical cyclone, 5 passengers hospitalized, a bomb threat at PortMiami, cruise line buys another Carnival ship, faulty alerts at Reagan, and lots more here live at 11 o'clock this morning on Wednesday's Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. If you're listening via the podcast, you're always welcome aboard. You can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guide. Okay, folks, today is Ash Wednesday. For those of you that are Christian or more closely attuned to Catholic, I would assume. Today signals the beginning of Lent for Christians. It takes place 46 days before Easter. And of course, the day after Shrove Tuesday or Fat Tuesday, which was yesterday. All right, this day in 1963, country music stars Patsy Cline, Hawkshaw Hawkins, Cowboy Copas, and their pilot Randy Hughes were killed in a plane crash down in the mountains of North Carolina or Tennessee, down south of me a little bit. It was particularly poignant for what was I then, 14, 15 years old. That summer, earlier that year, actually it was in the fall, I believe, in September, but they appeared at the fair in Roanoke, and my dad was the barker. He's the guy on the loudspeaker. Get your tickets now for the big main show. Patsy Cline, Hawkshaw Hawkinson, Cowboy Copa. That was my dad. So as a kid growing up, I got to go to the fair every night. And because of that, I was in the office when Patsy and Hawkshaw walked in. Now, they traveled with 2 gorgeous Palomino horses. And this was in the Victory Stadium in Roanoke. And Hawkshaw looks down at me, little kid, and says, "Son, would you like to come help me groom my horses?" And I said, "Yeah." So I jump up and Hawkshaw takes me and we go around under the stadium, and he gives me a brush. And I mean, I don't know anything like grooming horses, but I followed what he told me to do. And we groomed his horses and got them all ready and, prettied up for the show. Well, then when the actual show started, of course, I was the first one into the seats and sitting down on the middle of the front row. And Cowboy Copus, when he got up to, he did a number of things. He sang and played instruments, but he also did whip tricks. He had one of those long whips. Um, I don't know, 30 yards, 20 yards. I don't know how big it was. To a kid, it was big. So he was doing tricks up on stage and asked for a volunteer. There I am in the middle of the front row, and I stick my hand up. Yeah, me. You know what kids are. Well, he called on me, and as I'm jumping over the wall to go down on to the stage area to join him, Hawkshaw slips up to the microphone and says, "Son, you better be careful. That's the boss's kid." Of course, that wasn't entirely true, but anyway. So he had me stand off at a distance and hold a piece of paper, in my hands like this. And he cuts it in half. He had me hold it under my arm and cuts it in half. Under the other arm, cuts it in half. He has me bend over and hold one between my legs and cracked me in the butt with that whip, and I jumped 30 feet in the air. That was part of the show, however. He didn't really hit me, but I made it look like he did. So it got a laugh. But that was my experience with them. And then just a few months later, they were all, that was the first time I really dealt with death from somebody that I was at least aware of in my life. So just thought I'd share that story with you. All right, so a couple things to go over before we get to the news portion of today's show. Our buddy was in Washington yesterday doing some modeling work. This is Sylvia, of course. Was in Washington doing some work with Will the World as they were filming a new travel log for the DC area. So Sylvia was used in several of the photographs. This is from Bethany. She's at the Marina Bay Cruise Center in Singapore. This was last night. And this is just a couple shots of the last night on the cruise, on the ship itself in Singapore. This was a sweet and sour pork meal, which I haven't figured out quite what it was yet. I mean, it looks interesting. I like sweet and sour pork. And I'm not sure what the cake thing, the ricey looking thing is there. Anyway, it's Singapore, folks. This is also a shrimp goy, I think it was called. Again, I'm way out of my venture zone. And then this morning, she got up there and at Marina Bay Cruise Center in Singapore, had a little breakfast on her balcony. And she is disembarking the Crystal ship today. but she is staying in Singapore for a couple more days. So I'm sure we'll have some more from Bethany. I still got to go back and find her stuff from the formal night. I did not pull that up yet. But anyway, she's got a couple more days in Singapore before she starts that, I don't know, what is it, 30-hour flight home or something just awful. So, all right, I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, we're going to start off today with a ban on wildlife. Roatan, which is the largest island of the Bay Islands of Honduras, is an extremely popular destination for cruisers. In 2024, it welcomed 1.7 million cruise passengers, making it the most visited cruise destination in Central America. Beyond its stunning beaches and rich cultural heritage, Roatan offers unique wildlife encounters that have become wildly popular with tourists, especially cruise passengers. The island has become particularly notable for its monkeys and sloths, so much so that many cruise lines offer specialized excursions to see these animals up close. Here's the bad news. As of March the 1st, Honduras has doubled down on its new policies that protect Roatan, which is the largest island of the Bay Islands of Honduras. I'm not sure why that died out on me, folks. So basically, I'll pull up the actual story itself. Roatan has basically cut out the use of the um, very popular monkey and sloth exhibits there in the cruise port. So at this point, we're not sure what's going to happen to the excursions, but as of March the 1st, that is no more. So we're just going to have to find. Again, 1.7 million people went to Roatan in 2024. What happened in January, 5 sloths were illegally sent to Roatan. On January 24th, Honduras introduced or issued an official document detailing measures aimed at combating wildlife trafficking and ensuring the safety of endangered animals. Then the National Institute of Forest Conservation shared the cause of these changes: the drastic increase in the frequency of illegal trafficking, mismanagement, and over manipulation of wildlife observed in recent times here in Roatan. Over manipulation in this case is defined as carrying and holding animals for exhibition and taking photographs. So many of us have enjoyed the chance to hold a sloth. I know I did. And I never looked at it that, maybe that's causing problems on the supply chain of animals. I never even considered it that way. But it's something that's been brought to light, and it includes 2- and 3-clawed sloths, and monkeys and some parrots, a number of other animals. Visitors will no longer be able to handle or hold wildlife, but will still be able to observe them, so you can go see them. They say you can take selfies with them, but you're not going to be holding them. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but we're just going to have to wait and see. The bottom line is, folks, if you're planning on going to Roatan this spring, it's going to be different. It's going to be vastly different. All right. The U.S. Coast Guard helicopter rescued a 9-year-old girl from a cruise ship 175 miles offshore of Galveston, Texas. According to U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Houston, the crew responded to a medical emergency aboard the Disney Wish, successfully airlifting the child to UTMB Health University of Texas Hospital in Galveston for further treatment. The girl was reported to be in stable condition, though no further details have been released regarding the nature of her medical emergency. Design your ideal Mississippi River cruise experience when you cruise the heartland. American Cruise Line offers guests a variety of well-crafted itineraries that explore the Mississippi River and its tributaries. Whether you like to cruise the entire Mississippi, a portion of the legendary river, or even one of its tributaries, we have the perfect cruise just for you. Call me at 434-258-9264 to plan your perfect journey along the legendary Mississippi River and its tributaries. And remember, small ship cruising done perfectly by American Cruise Line. Royal Caribbean has welcomed a new chief dog officer, Sailor, following the success of Rover, who lives aboard Icon of the Seas. Sailor will join Rover in bringing joy to guests and crew while enjoying playtime on Caribbean beaches, including Perfect Day at Coco Cay. The program, developed in partnership with the American Humane Society, ensures top-tier care and training for all chief dog officers. Cruise ships along the southeastern Queensland coast of Australia are being forced to alter their itineraries as Tropical Cyclone Alfred, a Category 2 system, intensifies and approaches the port of Brisbane, traveling at 9 miles per hour. Cunard's Queen Anne and Norwegian Sun have both skipped their scheduled visits to Brisbane, as the Norwegian cruise line headed straight to Cairns instead, while Queen Anne sailed toward Arley Beach in North Queensland, where she will arrive on Tuesday. Queen Anne will then call on Yorkeys Knob on March 6th, and the adjusted schedule will allow the Cunard ship to arrive in Darwin a day early on March 10th. This will help ensure the ship is back on schedule to continue her 112-day world cruise that will end in Germany on April 29th. As Alfred intensified into a Category 2 cyclone, the port of Brisbane was closed and commercial shipping was directed to evacuate. The Bureau of Meteorology warned of the area's high tides and potential hazardous swells. Steve Hardacre, Maritime Safety Queensland Manager of Vessel Traffic Services in Brisbane, warned that the cyclone's impact would continue to disrupt the itineraries of cruise ships for days to come. The cyclone is expected to land on Thursday or Friday and will likely bring strong winds and significant rainfall. A flood watch has been issued for northern and southeast Queensland. The storm's 7-meter swells would not only make for a very uncomfortable ride for cruise passengers, but would be a safety concern as well. The Port of Brisbane typically sees a steady flow of cruise traffic, with 21 port stops scheduled in March alone. Carnival Luminosa and Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas are scheduled to visit Brisbane on March 6th and 7th, respectively. There has not been any word on alterations to the itineraries of those ships, but passengers are encouraged to check with the cruise line for any recent updates.
Let's talk about Allianz travel insurance. That's what I use and have for years. Without travel insurance, you'll have to navigate every travel emergency on your own, whether it's that missing suitcase or a medical evacuation. With Allianz travel insurance, you have a dedicated team of travel and medical experts on your side. For more information, just give me a call, 434-258-9264, and we'll talk about an Allianz policy that fits your needs.
5 passengers were hospitalized after United Airlines regional flight encountered turbulence and diverted to Waco, Texas. According to SkyWest, which was operating the flight for United, none of the injuries were life-threatening. SkyWest Flight 5690 from Springfield, Missouri to Houston landed safely at Waco Regional Airport after experiencing turbulence. Medical personnel met and evaluated passengers, and 5 passengers were transported to the hospital with minor injuries. A bomb threat at PortMiami was found to be a hoax on Monday, but still led to significant disruption. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office said it found no credible threat after closing down traffic in the port area. Police deputies were on the scene Monday morning and later determined the bomb threat to be a hoax. However, the increased police presence in the area was used as a precaution. The port soon returned to maritime security level 1, meaning normal operation was resumed, but it resulted in long backed-up traffic as it closed the port's tunnel. The tunnel closure caused significant disruption for cargo truck drivers and cruise passengers, with traffic delays of up to an hour. Police haven't given any details about the nature of the bomb threat or if it was targeted specifically at a cruise ship or cargo operator. Bomb threats aimed at cruise ships are very rare, but not unheard of. All-inclusive cruise line Mitsui Ocean Cruises has purchased another luxury ship from Carnival Corporation. The second ship will remain with Seabourn until its current deployment is over and then enter service with the new cruise line. Seabourn Sojourn will complete its current deployment with the ultra-luxury line Seabourn before going into dry dock and entering service with Mitsui in late 2026. The 32,000 gross ton cruise ship carries 458 passengers. Multiple pilots who were en route to land in Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport received faulty warnings about flight path obstacles just a month after a deadly mid-air collision near the airport. According to a report in the USA Today, the Federal Aviation Administration is investigating the incident. Several flight crews inbound to Reagan Washington National Airport received onboard alerts on Saturday indicating another aircraft was nearby when no aircraft was in the area. Some of the crews executed go-rounds as a result of these alerts. The FAA is investigating why the alerts occurred, the agency said in a statement to USA Today. Keep in mind, folks. Hey, to all my sushi friends, if takoyaki, a dish featuring tempura octopus, cabbage, tonkatsu sauce, mayo, and bonita flakes sounds delicious, you'll very likely be tempted to try out Holland America's Line's expanding dining venue, a specialty sushi bar. The premium cruise brand is all set to roll out the Morimoto by Sea Sushi Bar on 4 of its ships through June of 2025. The sushi bar concept was introduced at the same time the Morimoto by Sea specialty restaurant debuted on board the New Amsterdam in 2023, but was limited to just that one ship. In the coming months, the additional ships will offer the 12-seat specialty sushi bar. Vessels that will feature the new venue are the Rotterdam, the Koningsdam, New Statendam, and Eurodam. Morimoto by Sea is in partnership between Holland America Line and Japanese celebrity chef Masahiro Morimoto, the star of Iron Chef and Iron Chef America. Want to give it a try? Give me a call, 434-258-9264, and we'll work it out. All right, guys, that is going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. Actually, folks, that was a commercial. That was an older news story from last week that's still good. I mean, let's go on one of those ships and try that new sushi bar out. I'm up for that. Get through this next cruises with Hot Air Tom and crew, because we got a bunch of our gang involved in that. And if some of you want to go sailing on a Holland America ship, I'm up for that. Haven't been on Holland America for a year now, so I'm always game. All right, let's go over and see who's fussing at me in the chat room today. The day started off with, there's a Landing Bojang. Landing Bojang? That's one of our ex-guys, Landing Bojang. Says hello. Good to see you. Glad to have you with us. Gary Older Than Dirt's here. Mike's here. Yeah, Mike, I understand. You're one of the reasons that I switched. That I went back to showing my face with the oxygen. I'm still not comfortable doing it, but I understand the confusion that was causing you guys. And you guys all know that I'm on oxygen, so I'm not going to worry about it. I just get used to it. All right, Cindy Gold 1010 is here, says hi. Good to have you, Cindy. Gretchen's with us, says good morning. Yvonne Kate is here also, says hi. As does Mackenzie Sky. Got quite a few people from X today. Gary says hello to Gretchen. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. There's Kenneth up in Pennsylvania. Kenneth says, hey, Gary, what are you getting into New York? When are you getting into New York for the Epic Cruise? You know what? I don't remember, Kenneth. I want to say Gary's coming in on cruise day, which is rare for him. That's just to avoid, New York's an expensive place to stay. Flying in on March 31st, taking the NCL transfer to the ship. There you go. Roger says, hey, from Jacksonville. Hey, Roger. There's Jamin Watson. My wife and I leave tomorrow for Fort Lauderdale to celebrate her 40th birthday with friends on the Celebrity Silhouette. All right. Tell her she's going to have to post some pictures. We're just going to have to keep up with it. Roger says Patsy Cline. Plane crash near Camden, Tennessee. That's it, Camden, Tennessee. Couldn't remember if it was Eastern Tennessee or Western Carolina. No, it's down there in the mountains someplace. There's Hot Air Tom is with us. Good morning, Hot Air Tom. Why are you late, Tom? Was just going to ask about you. Kind of says sleeping in, Tom. Tom says, oops. Gretchen says, we're considering a Panama Canal cruise in preference, full or partial crossing, old or new locks. Okay, so I've done both. I've done several partials. I probably personally, Gretchen, prefer doing the full transit, which means, of course, going from a different airport. You know, you sail from, say, Fort Lauderdale and go to San Diego or Los Angeles. That's what most Panama Canal cruises do. Unless you want to go and turn around and come back. Some of those are available as well. But I like the full transit. The other thing that I found, and I just point this out again because I'm in a wheelchair, when there's a lot of things to see, and you got to deal with a lot of people on deck. Sometimes they just absolutely pay no attention to a fat guy in a wheelchair. So I was having a lot of difficulty seeing things going through the locks. And I went down to my cabin and put on the bow cam on the television and actually sat there and watched sailing through the canal on the television and listening to the agent talking about all the facts and figures and stuff. It was probably the best trip I've had through the canal, and I've done several of them, but it was the most enjoyable because I was actually able to really pay attention to what was going on and had a perfectly good seat using the bow cam on the ship. So just a thought, folks, especially you can get down into Panama and it can be like 112 in the shade. So that was a little more comfortable too, sitting in the air conditioning. But anyway, I like the Panama Canal. And if you have to do a partial, there's nothing wrong with doing a partial. You go in through part of the canal, you get up to Gatong Lake, you turn around and you come back. So you do still have some locks, but it's not like going full transit. So that's just my thought on it. Hot Air Tom says, I am cleaning my office and listening. Just forgot to give my welcome. Well, that's okay. I'm glad you're getting your office cleaned. Of course, you were a vicious rumor that you were out wielding a sledgehammer at a chair. Now, I wondered about you and a sledgehammer, number one, but then you took out your frustrations on a chair with a sledgehammer. I didn't quite understand that, Hot Air Tom. Great. Good morning, Todd. Great Patsy Cline story. Thank you, Todd. I like both sets of locks, which suggest a full crossing. We did back-to-back Miami to Panama City and back, so got full crossings. Plus, we had aft balcony, so we had a terrific view. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, I've had people ask me, well, which side's the best? Oh, hell, don't ask me that. Just get where you can see, you know. Gretchen says, I'm usually like that, Tom, too busy. The lock operations live to the rear and bridge cam on the TV to see the front. Yeah, that's not a bad plan. That sounds good, Tom. Thanks for the tip. Tom says, I have an auditor visiting next Friday for the annual workers' comp audit, so making some space for her to work. I don't know about you, but I'm never been particularly fond of audits. I've had to go through a couple in my time. 2 full crossings. How long were you gone? A month at least. I think it was a 10-day and an 11-day set of cruises. Yeah, you can do a double, but a little shorter than you think. So I've not done that. Maybe that's not a bad plan if I can get the right deal on one, is to do a back to back. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Maybe do a back to back on a Holland America. Yeah, that's going to be too expensive. You know me, I'm too tight. Shorter since the turnover was Panama City rather than the West Coast. Yeah, that saves you a little time. We're looking at 12 to 16 days, such a variety of itineraries. Mike says hi to Gretchen. Kenneth says, Gretchen, the Panama Canal is awesome. Robin and I did a 23-day on Princess. The weather was awesome, nice and warm. What month, Kenneth? We wanted to book another Panama Canal cruise, but I didn't know how safe it's going to be to Americans right now. I'm actually not worried about that, Kenneth. Maybe I should. But I'm just, I'm going to go on like I've always done. And I've never had problems anywhere in the world. Other than one time I thought a guy was trying to move in on me. But, at my age and my condition, I'm not going to worry about it. If something happens, it happens. That's all. So Kenneth says, I think it was in August. Pretty sure that's correct, Kenneth. It was a good hot weather month. I know that. We love the heat. I don't like the cruises that are cold and rainy. You just get sick from them. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And I'm a prime example of that one. Cold and rain, no good, but August, hot, hot, hot. We will book for far in advance. Maybe the climate for travel will be more settled by then. Well, you're going to end up going through the Panama Canal in warm weather. You're not going to be doing it in cold, cool. There's never cooler weather down there to start with. So you're almost always going to, no matter when you'd go, it's going to be hot weather, or at least warm weather. What Kenneth is referring to is the cold, rainy weather like Hot Air Tom and I went through with for 7 weeks. So that was a little extreme. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, tomorrow, got a doctor's appointment. It's not anything I'm worried about. I look forward to seeing Dr. David all the time. And he and I have a couple things to discuss, a couple changes that I've had to make. What I found on the tests of the treatments and the alterations that I've made in that plan to see if he agrees with that. I also have him want to do some things to check on some of the side effects from the chemo, that are just getting to the point that they're aggravating the crap out of me. Not anything major, just an aggravation. Some of you know that I've had a lot more nauseousness the last couple months, which is a side effect of the chemo. The same kind of nail problems, toenails, fingernails, and I call it alligator skin on my legs. That's actually getting to the point now of being painful. I got some new lotion, fancy dancy lotion in for my legs and feet. Let him see if I'm doing the right thing with that too. So I got some things to talk about, not anything major. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for being with me. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up, guys. We got 100 people in the house. We need to have 100 people say they give us a thumbs up. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Wow. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost you anything. That helps the channel out a lot. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for this Wednesday show. Again, no show tomorrow unless something major happens. And then I'll see everybody back here on Friday for Friday Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. You guys have a great day. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas like a whole bunch of us are come the 31st of March. We'll see everybody in New York. Have a great day, everybody. See you on Friday.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.